Welcome to Audible Stories. The Willow Pillow. Once upon a time, a beautiful willow tree stood near the center of a village. Everyone who passed the tree marveled at its strength and beauty. In spring and summertime, when those branches waved in the wind, people admired the willow's elegance, grace, and fragrance. In wintertime, when the willow's branches were covered with snow, it protected people, like a huge umbrella. A young boy lived with his family, and from his bedroom window he could see the tree. Each morning when he woke, he looked out his window and sighed with pleasure at the sight of the tree waving in the wind, proud and sturdy in the rain, protective in the snow and exquisite in the sunshine. When the young boy walked to school, he passed the tree. He often stopped to admire its beauty and scent. One day the village elders decided it was time to build a bridge over the river. Soon the workmen began to chop down trees for timber for that bridge. When the young man heard the sound of those axes, his heart ached and skipped a beat. He feared his beloved willow might fall. He visited the elders to beg for mercy for the tree. "I love the willow, I truly love her," he said. "Please, I will give you all my money, anything it takes to save this tree from the builder's axes." Impressed by the young man's devotion and dedication, the elders granted his wish, and the willow tree was saved from being chopped. After this, the young man was more grateful than ever for the willow tree. He began to visit it every morning and every night. Many days he stood beneath its branches and said prayers of thanks for all the gifts of this world, for his family, for the birds and animals, and most especially for this amazing willow tree, which gave him immense joy. Some days he whispered his personal troubles and issues to the willow tree. When he had finished, he felt relaxed and healed. He was so certain that the willow did understood. Sometime he would make a willow pillow to sleep under the shady tree. His devotion grew deeper as he grew older. As the young man approached the tree one evening, he saw a beautiful woman standing in the place where he usually said his prayers. He walked up to her and bowed. "Dear lady," he said, "are you waiting for someone?" "He will not come," she said, smiling sweetly at him. "What kind of man is this who does not meet such a fair woman?" He replied, "It is a terrible thing when love is not returned." "He loves me," the woman said. "But he does not come to you," he said. "Why is that?" She smiled warmly. "His heart has always been here, under the willow tree," and then she disappeared. But the next night she was there again, and once again they talked. They spoke of the loveliness of this spot, of the peaceful night, the watchful stars. The next night they met again. The young woman told the young man that, before he began to ask her more questions, she waved her hand. "Ask me nothing more about my family," she said. "You know all about me, that you must know." The young man thought that she was shy, and he did not pester her. The next night they met again. Soon they were deeply in love, so one night he asked her to marry him. "I will," she said, "but promise me that you will never ask me about my past." "I promise you, I will never ask about your past," he said, for he did not care about that. He knew this was a woman who understood and he loved as dearly as he loved the willow tree. Soon they married, and the next year they had a son. They were the happiest family, everyone said and witnessed so. They were always smiling and laughing, so pleased were they by the gift of their love for each other. The years passed, and the willow tree near their home became a place where the couple often wandered to say their prayers of thanking for everything. One day they were in the village when they heard the proclamation of the emperor who wished to build a temple to the goddess of mercy. He needs timber from every village, and he has asked for our most sacred trees, the proclamation claimed. The young man's heart contracted when he heard these words. "We must not cut down our willow," he said, but no matter how long and hard he argued, the elders of the village this time disagreed. "We have no tree as large and beautiful as the willow," they said. "It will be our most sacred gift for the most sacred temples," said the villagers. A few days later, the young man was in bed when he woke to the sound of axes, and he knew they were chopping down his beloved willow tree. Beside him, his wife shuddered on her pillow. "My love," she whispered into her husband's ear, "my hair is falling from my body." "What do you mean?" he asked, and he put his arms around her. He felt her trembling and shivering in ambiguity. "My limbs are shattering," she cried. Tears began to run down her face, making the pillow wet. "No, my dear, you are only dreaming," he said, and he held her closer tightly. Suddenly there was a loud crash outside. In that instant, his wife disappeared from his sight, leaving her pillow. He lay in bed holding only a long pillow, as a slender branch of golden willow leaves. His wife's sweet scent and tender body were gone. "Where are you, honey?" he cried, but it was now too late. He understood that the woman he had always loved was none other than the spirit of the willow tree. The young man and his son mourned deeply for the loss of their gentle, loving wife and mother. But they never forgot to give thanks for everything, especially for the willow pillow and blessing of her love, which had given them life and happiness. If you like the story, please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you for listening.